we go, please turn your cell phones off. Okay? Thank you much. Susan is here from Cook County, Mexico, where she studied industrial design at the University Americana. From a very early age, she began to draw a human figure, and over the years, she has learned a variety of fine art techniques. Please welcome Suzanne. The next demo artist is Katheleen Giles. She's a signature member of the American Watercolor Society, a master signature of the National Watercolor Society, and a member of the International Guild of Realism. She has won many awards and is a popular workshop instructor. Please welcome Katheleen.
Hello everyone. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Alright, so I guess I'll just start by saying that I wet the back of my paper and I'm going to turn it over and wet the front, so I don't know what you're. I already wet it and I was letting the water sink in a little bit. It'll just give me more working time.
Okay, well, I am going to try to start wetting my paper too. My process always takes me a lot of hours because I like to make so many layers to get some kind of nice skin, but it takes so many days. So I'm trying to do short work here. I'm trying to finish this. This is a portrait of a girl of Oaxaca in Mexico. Her name is Micaela and she's really, really beautiful. That's why I choose her to make this demo. So I hope I can finish and you like.
Yeah, same thing with me. This painting would take days, so not an hour and a half. I'm going to show you how I start. I start by wetting the paper everywhere. I do not have any masking fluid on here. I also have another painting that I did a little more work on so that I could pull that out after a little while and show you how I finish a little bit. I was going to put a little mask on this for his hairs, and my masking fluid exploded on the airplane. So I had it in a gallon bag with my paints, and I opened it up and I had some gesso in there. I just came from teaching in Arizona, and I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, so I just didn't even bother with it. But I can pull hairs out later with a razor blade, so that's not a big deal. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So I'm going to start with some yellow and start to build my value pattern while my paper's really shiny wet. I forgot to switch my glasses later. So I usually narrate when I'm painting, so I guess I'll talk a little bit, and if Susanna, right?
Yes.
Susanna, if you want me to just say Kathy.
Okay. I usually can't speak very much while I'm painting, but if you want to ask me something, I can answer. So you can talk freely. You got me.
Okay, so I use triads, and all triads make grays. So I start with my yellow, start to get a little bit, I'm really super, super wet right now. So as I paint, I start to get drier and drier and start to build my value pattern. So let's see how this goes. So I want to go drier now because everything's just floating away. I've got such a shine here. Another thing that happens when I paint like this, I'm also actually picking up water off of paper. So I have to, I'm always tamping on here to control the water. So I can put yellow under everything here. The only place I wouldn't want to put yellow is if I had a clean blue. I should have showed you, this is what I'm painting, just so everybody knows where I'm going. Oh, I could just sit here, done. That's my husband. I'm not doing the green. I just did a similar scene of him, and it's in a show and won an award. It won first place in the, I can't think the name of the show. The online show, the school. No. Right. Yeah, Richardson? Richardson, yeah. So, okay, so now I'm going to go in with my pink and start to build up his flesh tones here. And then, because I can make, I know that there's orange under his hair, I can go right into that as well. I'm asking myself if that's a little too pink.
Susanna, can you show us your reference for a second?
Susanna.
Thank you. Just hold it up to the camera. Thank you.
She's really, really beautiful. She is very young, and she works modeling the clothes for my community where they make the embroidery. She models. The photographer is really, really good, and he allowed me to use this photograph to make these demos today. But she really is a Mexican beauty.
What kind of brush are you using?
What?
What kind of brush are you using?
This well, let me see. I try to paint like with these brushes.
So I'm painting the whites of his eyes pink. A lot of times, students want to leave the eyes white even when they're in shadow, and that is not correct, really. It's so interesting that when we knock things down to the value that they are, when we have the courage, to show those shadows, that's what makes something look realistic. When we're afraid to graze something down or push it back, and we wonder why it looks flat. So you really have to have the confidence to go in there and put a little value on things that aren't really white. Which comes with time, right? Takes time. I'm adding touches of blue, that's my skin triad. It grays the orange down. And even when I paint dark skin, I use a similar Windsor blue or phthalo blue red shade.
Thank you.
So now I'm getting drier and I am gently brushing over the paper and I'm getting almost to a dry brush application. I call it damp brush. So I'm getting this damp color in. And you know it's going to dry too light and I'm trying to be bold with my color, but in reality, to make skin look realistic, I feel like I usually do probably at least 4 glazes.
I'm going to try to make an effect with the granulating colors for the hair. So I hope it works.
As long as my paper is evenly wet, I can keep working in here. But when it starts to dry, then I have to be careful. And I'm just wondering now, I hope it's gonna go alright. Hoping I'm still wet enough to do this. Now the paint I just applied is wetter than the drying paper. So I have to make the paint thicker and drier so that I can control it and not just starting to create a blossom. So I just have to go back and try to work a little drier, but then I gotta just spread it all over.
May I ask a question to our Mexican artist?
Yes?
Suzanne, thank you. Your treatment on the hair, what colors are you using?
Okay, I'm using Luna Black, Soda Light green. It's like some kind of blue, and rose of ultramarine. I like to combine them because when they start to separate with the water, the colors, the blues and the pinks emerge, and I like that. I like that very much.
I'm sorry, what was the blue called, please?
Soda Light.
Oh, Soda Light. Thank you.
Thank you.
What were your skin tones? Green.
Suzanne?
Yes.
What were your skin tone codes?
It's gamboge yellow, gamboge yellow, or yellow gamboge, vermilion, burnt sienna, and a little bit of ultramarine blue. So now I'm gonna try to the color starts moving. With clean water, I'm gonna help to make some ways from the water to move.
I also have some gamboge in my yellow here that I'm using. I've got FabrianoInAcquarello, and I never used to use it because it wasn't really known as a light, fast color. But Daniel Smith just came out with one that is light, fast, very vibrant, very orange.
Is it translucent or is it more
It's
opaque?
transparent, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all my paints are transparent stainers. This brush is just irreplaceable. It's right now it's a rounded filbert. It used to be a cat's tongue from Cheap Joe's, but I've used it for so many years. My husband put pins in it or something because it was falling apart. It wiggles a little bit, all the paint's off it. But my students have bought it, and it just doesn't seem to be the same quality. Did I say it's a Cheap Joe's 50/50? You could try it. It's a cat's tongue, like I say, but as it transformed itself into a more of a filbert shape, I found that I love painting with filberts. I couldn't do what I do with a pointed round. It's too pokey. I need this smoothness to you get these soft edges that are on skin.
Kathleen, are you painting just dry on drawing?
I'm damp.
Okay.
My paper it has lost its shine, but it's quite wet. I wet the back thoroughly, and it is damp. It's moving a little bit. This is 140 pounds.
Do you usually paint with the tip of the brush?
Depends. You know, if you're asking me. I just was teaching a workshop, and people say, "Do you always do so and so?" And I said, "There's no always in watercolor. There's always an exception. You know, always an exception." So every painting and every subject. Now, see, I'm starting to get into some more delicate business. I just won these travel brushes from Escoda. Oh, really, really nice. But now when I want to curve around his nostril, I'm going to get, now I'll get a pointed round in here.
And what glue is that?
Blue is Sleeping Beauty, Cobalt Teal, and two whites. It's a mix.
And you touch your hair to make it softer?
Yes, I'm trying to the edge, to soft the edge, to give the painting some atmosphere. Because I'm doing this effect with the water.
Oh, wow.
You can see it.
So, I already feel like I've got enough value here that you can see how I work. And this is setting up so much that I would have to, dry this and let it wet, because even though it's a transparent stainer, you can disturb that underwash, and that's when we get weird stuff on our paper, and we say, oh, there's something wrong with our paper, but it may be us. So, I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to get this one out. And this is a little part. I put a sweater in and a little hair, okay? So I'm going to wet the back of this one too, because it'll give me some time.
Did you start with a drawing, pencil drawing underneath?
I have a pencil drawing. We both had a pencil drawing. I try just do contour lines. I don't like a lot of pencil. Sometimes you'll see people, it's like they've shaded the eyes and everything. I don't do that. And I do find that the little scrubby tools, I have the French scrubbers from Cheap Joe's. If you go over your paper with those, if you have an edge, on it, you've got a really light cheek or something, and you have an edge that has pencil, I will hit it with my little scrubber, and I can usually get it off. I gotta put her here for a second. This is my painting Fabriano. She was in Fabriano, the Fabriano Prize, and she won 4th place a couple years ago. This is Tears for Ukraine. Let's see what she's doing. Oh, she's doing.
Kathleen, what kind of tape is that?
Somebody else already asked me. I got it on, I don't know, it just says BOMEI pack. It's a black tape. I found it on Amazon. And it seems to really hold a line. And, like I was just demonstrating in Arizona, and I used it to just put it on dry paper to hold the horizon line, painting water, and it worked great. Okay, he's flat enough, I guess. So I want to get his shirt up to a black, and I don't think I'm quite there yet. But I don't know. I was going to tell you something about value, but Susanna, do you have something you want to share first?
No.
All right. I warned you. So
Okay.
What are you doing now, Susan?
I'm trying to start putting some kind of value tones map. So try to put the lights, the midtones, and the shadows in a first layer. Then I'm gonna try to put some layers to make the color brighter. But first I have to mark where the shadows are going to be and to take the lights.
How big is your paper?
The face is almost dry because I need to make layers. I have to have the paper dry, so the next layer is not going to dirt the paint.
Kathleen, are those all chick-fil-A's?
yes.
Okay, so I didn't put you in.
It gives me a chance to hawk my show. In November, I'm doing a one-woman show, and it's actually just a restaurant near where I live. And I did put some mask on here. Look at that. I must have done it at home. So I have 4 to 6 paintings for the show, and I need them all. So there'll be old ones, new ones, barely dry ones. But anyway, if anyone's interested in original, it will be online simultaneously if I get them all posted.
Where's the show, please?
I have cards right there. It'll go live KathleenGiles.com or KGilesStudio.com. It'll go live on Wednesday, November 6th, the day after Election Day. Here in the U.S., we're all going to need a break. Especially if you live in the swing states like Arizona, where I never saw so many commercials in my whole life for politics. But yeah, it's the day after Election Day. So it'll go, the opening reception is that day, and then it'll go live online as well. And you know, everybody's having trouble selling their paintings here. I know we have some foreign visitors, but the economy has not been great for selling original paintings. So it's a big thing. Like, are we going to slash our prices? Are we going to stick to our guns? So I'm going to have some that are, you know, really reasonable, and other ones that's like, no, you're not getting this cheap. So you just have to have a balance, I guess.
Have you found that you sell more giclées in this environment then?
When I travel, I bring them. But I do sell originals on the road, my portraits, but like I say, nothing, I need them all right now. Anything I had is going to be in the show. How are you doing, Susanna?
I'm good. Sometimes when I try to make some details, it's a little difficult for me to talk, but if you want to know something, just ask.
Oh, it's difficult to talk when she's doing details. So I had a Lego hat going on here. You know what I mean? You do the hair and it looks like it's a Lego hat. So what you want to do is you want to take your skin color and just dance right up along next to that and soften it. We want them to bleed together. It's always just, you know, you gotta kind of scrub in there. So now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try to, I did say my prayers. I'm gonna try to get this darker without screwing it up. So I've got to get his skin up to the value that it really is. And my brush is too small, so when you find yourself brushing a lot, you got the wrong brush.
Can I ask you, what is that little doohickey that you're tamping your brush with? You must have made something like that.
This is a very expensive tool. It's a car wash sponge. I just felt like I was going through 10,000 rolls of paper, and I thought, well, why don't I put a sponge in? So I got a couple car wash sponges, and I wrap them in quite a few layers of paper towel. And depending on how much I paint, sometimes they're totally saturated because I do this a lot. You know what I'm thinking of, like tapping. But sometimes I'll just turn it over and use the other side the next day. So it's economical.
You get it at an auto parts store?
I actually bought these at Home Depot, but I'm sure all the stores have them. So I'm mixing a triad, and I keep just going and going till I think I have the right ratio, and then I'm just going to put it on and see what I got. So again, I'm going to come along my hairline now that it's wet and just let that bleed out a little bit. I just put some color on here and it's not moving enough. So I'm going to take my other hand and just put a little bit of color in and touch the other side. Just gently. And I'm encouraging it to blossom up.
Susanna, could you show us the reference photo on this side of the room again?
her justice. Oh, you can't do her justice? You know what I always tell everybody? Don't show them your reference. You know? My students like that. Takes the pressure off.
Kathleen, what's your maroon and your blue there that you're using?
How did I mix this color? And I've got a different brush I'm using now. This is a very inexpensive brush. This is, I'm trying to think what I used. I don't have to mix it again. I wasn't thinking about it. Like I wasn't,
Okay.
you know, if I don't say it. I think this was my, pink and yellow, and then I added in Windsor blue. I don't think I may have added Pearline maroon and Indanthrone, but I did it kind of unconsciously. Sometimes it's just, you know, you just do it. You don't always think. So he's got a light bounce under his chin. I'm trying to save that. Let's see. This might be a good place for some dry brush or damp, whatever. Dry brush. Let's see. So I am ambidextrous. It's very helpful. Right here I could run into trouble. A fire alarm? Are you kidding me? Oh, okay. I was gonna say my paper's gonna dry. Well, let's say a prayer that they find the missing child. So that went pretty smooth.
It's in Austin, Texas.
Susanna, you want to say something? Because I got something else I could say.
Okay. Now I'm starting to make a little bit more detail from the face, but it's not the final color yet.
Yeah, if your cell phones were off. No, my phone was off and it still did it. Yeah. It just, we planned that to wake everybody up. So, when I get to this point where I'm starting to get some good darks in, that's when, I think this happens to everybody. You know, you get the darker value in, and you're feeling really good, and then you realize that the other color that you were already putting in isn't quite dark enough. So then you have to go back and build your other values. So I always say, if the middle values are not intense enough, they will look washed out. So don't not put the darks in. Put the darks in, but get those middle values up where they need to be. And that's, you know, that's what we need, that light, medium, and dark to really have a great, I'm a value painter, and I think you just gotta have that, but that's me.
really do. Sometimes I feel that a color is really dark, and when I put some dark color next to it, I see that the color really is really light. So that's why I'm trying to go from lighter to darker, so I can. I don't want to lose my lights, but try to go by layers and doing everything so I can check the values. And now I'm trying with the dry brush, so I control a little bit more where I'm going, where I'm putting the painting, and try to soften the edges.
I'm trying to build a black here. That's better. Let's see. So, I start with transparent stainers, but then as I go, then sometimes you just want a little punch of color, and I'll take something more vibrant. I'm going to take a little of this. I don't know, it's turquoise or something I got in here. And I'm going to try running this over here to just give me a little more pizzazz. And because compliments entertain the eye so much, it just, you know, you think of a poinsettia with the green and yellow leaf, or yeah, the red and green. So many examples. Orange sunset over the blue ocean. It has so much drama. So because his skin is orange, I want to have some of this pretty blue in his skin. And then if this dries in time, I would like to do a coat of blue over his skin as well. But I think I'll get some eyes in. See if I can get this up to a darker value.
I'm going to make I don't know, it's glacé, some thin layer painting. Lace. To the face, so I can make the colors a little bit brighter. Yes, the paper has to be really dry because the painting can lift. And I usually do a very, very light layer. It's too much color.
I'm trying to put some color on his nose. And I got too much on there. And I was just, another thing that I teach is that you don't really want to blot with the tissue, because if I'm trying to keep this evenly wet and I blot it with the tissue, then I've dried the paper and created an uneven surface, and I I'm gonna more likely to get run backs and weird paper marks that I don't want. And when that happens, you either gotta spritz it or hair dry it or something. I'm gonna mix up a little lighter color, and now I wanna use a flatter brush. It's actually a filbert file. Now if I drag it through, here, I should be able to get some texture on here. A little too wet. Get some texture on here for a beard. Men are definitely easier to paint than women, because there's texture and you can have marks on their face. If they look rough, they could just pretend it's beard. You know, it really is easier.
Have you always been ambidextrous?
No. My grandmother used to try to make me use my right hand, because I thought of that, and I used to say, Grandma, it hurts me. It just hurts your nervous system. But as I got older, I don't know, I think I just started using my non-dominant hand sometimes, and I've developed to be able to do it pretty well. Yeah, I was just playing a little teapot, and I kept switching from left to right, so I don't know if that means that I'm brain damaged or what. Well, there's a delicate transition, like the side of the nose, and you're not sure, where the color is. I always ask myself, how do I know that line's there? And then I just try to see which side it's on. I gotta get some darks on these eyes. How are we doing with time? So my guy's eyes are quite shadowed through here.
Now I made the lace and trying to use the wet paper to put a little bit more color, and it gets soft because it's wet. I don't have to try to soften because the color blends very easy because everything is wet.
It's just wet from the form of paint.
Because I made a glaze, so I take the humidity to try to put more color, and the colors blend easier.
Older skin, as we know, gets more texture. So sometimes that makes it, I guess, easier to paint. I feel like I guess it helps it make it look more realistic. My husband, I painted him quite a few times, and I did a painting of him a couple years ago, and he looked at it and he said, am I really that goes, okay then. And I said, but you know what? I said, I had to exaggerate the wrinkles and texture to make it look more real. And then I heard him tell somebody she had to exaggerate wrinkles to make it look real. And I just thought that was cute that he did have that vanity bone. You know, who wants to look, you want to have your best thing, but really to make something look real, you want to exaggerate that stuff because that's what makes it jump off the paper, I think. I'm building up some value on the lighter part of his skin with dry brush, and he's got a little bit of a grayer mark of the outside of his Adam apple part right here, right down here. So I'm going to get into some blues and shadowing now on his skin.
What is your thinking on his background?
Oh, well, I'm not going to use green. The background on this is green, and when I'm doing a portrait, I want to keep things simple, unless it's a story. Now, the one that just won the award was him out in the woods, and that's what it was about. It was about that he's always out in the woods. Here, this is an orange and blue painting. So I would not want to introduce green. So a lot of times on paintings, I will change the background.
Amber alert. Austin, Texas. License plate GWL 2922. Silver 2019 Mitsubishi Outlander.
Well, how about some eyeballs on my guy? Let's see, I've got a weird looking thing right here. So I'll take a brush with maybe some cleaner water, and I do this thing, I say it's kind of like a snowplow. I'm gonna wet that. In Buffalo, we know about snowplows. So I get that wet for a second, and then I take my brush and I just scrub at it a little bit, but I can push that pigment up and out of my way a little bit. And then if this doesn't work, I'll use more force with, oh, it did, pretty good. So then maybe just try to give it a little, but I've got a little blue on the paper. Once you get a little blue on the paper, it's harder to lift it. So he's got a pretty pronounced highlight right there. So at the end, I might do some finishing with the scrubby. I've saved a lot of paintings with these French scrubbers, just pulling back highlights, moving things, like something here doesn't read right. This looks weird. So then you have to do some shaping and see what's wrong. This has to come over, and actually, it looks like his nose is broken. So that means I've gotta move this, I gotta move this over. But that's one of the things about just painting so long here, we can't really step back, because we're trying to get some work done. Something's wrong there, though. Let's see, so this cuts in. This comes over. questions?
Have you ever put in the background at this stage and then realized that all your values on the head were too light? And then how would you fix that?
Are you asking me?
Sorry, I should have
Sure.
said Kathleen.
Sure. That happens. I can put it in now. When, that's what I was saying. Usually, you know, whenever you get up to your final value, oftentimes you'll find that there's things that need to be darkened and, you know, middle values that need to be darkened. It just means you have more work to do. You know, and people always say, how long does it take? And I say, until it's done. You know, until you're happy. A lot of times you think you're done. I have an easel at the end of my or at the end of my kitchen set up all the time, so I'll go in and set it out and make a cup of tea or something, and then you know, you try not to look at it for a few minutes, and then you turn around and look at it, and it's like you're either amazed at yourself or you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was better than that. So then you go back to, you know, do whatever.
Is your paper still damp at this point, or has it dried out?
Mine is cold. The surface is dry, and there's water inside of it. I find that you can hair dry it on the surface and keep the back moist, and it gives you more painting time. Yeah, I forgot I messed this.
I'm working in the flowers in the meantime. I'm waiting that the face gets a little bit more dry, so I can start putting more color to trying to get to the final color in the eyes and in the face. I'm not an expert in flowers. Sometimes for me it's more easy to make a hand or a face, but a flower or a landscape is really difficult.
Susanna, could you hold the photo up again?
This one?
The photo is the thing. Reference photo. Or hold it up to the camera. Thanks.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I know you have. I want to get a little more shaping on his eye here and get some darks in here, and then I want to get that background in so that I can judge where I am. But I definitely need some blue in here.
What colors are you using on the lid?
The color is ochre pink and burnt sienna and a little bit of ultramarine. those are my favorite colors.
Say those colors again?
For the mouth is opera pink, burnt sienna, and ultramarine. A little bit of ultramarine just
Yeah.
to get a little bit darker the color.
Susanna, do you stage your models? They always have a story around, which I love. And do you stage the photographs you take, the models? How do you get your models?
I don't understand.
Angela,
Yes, sorry, say that again?
translated. How does she stage and take the photos? They always have a
Oh,
story.
that was a photographer that did this.
¿Cómo has sacado la foto esta?
What is the
Oh,
story?
I didn't think that this picture is from a friend who's a photographer. He takes photos from models, but it's people from the town that work in a cooperative embroidering clothes. So she works embroidering, but she's the model too. Her name is Micaela. And she is very young, and for me, it's a very, very beautiful girl. And her face is, I don't know, I like it very much. So when I see this picture, I ask him to let me do for this demo. And he said, yes. Thank you very much, because I'm very happy to make this painting.
Does she, the photographer, does he make these special arrangements for some reason?
He made these photographs for the store to sell the clothes.
Ah, okay.
So they modeled the clothes. He takes the pictures and they put it on Instagram or Facebook to sell but it's primarily to sell the embroidery. I usually make my paintings a little bit more softer, but that takes a lot of time. And now I haven't so much time.
On a woman's face, you don't want to use a lot of blue shadows, and that's another way that men can be interesting, because I do think before I try to go too much darker on his face, that I want to get this background. So it's just going to be an abstract color background.
What color did you use instead of the blue on woman's face?
More reds and oranges. Where on a man, you could use more blue for, contours and shadows and things. On a woman, I would tend to use a darker red. Because you don't ever want a woman to look like she has a beard. Because a lot of times the blue a little pink. I've already got some yellow down. I feel like I should have put some yellow up here. This is just kind of a balance thing, but if the color's coming out over here, shouldn't it be up here too? That's what it feels like. And it's just like he's looking up at whatever. He's always looking for birds. That's probably what he was actually doing. Big bird. I want to separate his face from the background. So I wouldn't just leave this orange, right? Because I want the drama. So I'm using my triad again for unity. And then when I add my blue, I think rather than add the Windsor blue, I'm going to add the Damprin. And Damprin is a cousin of French ultramarine color-wise. That's the way I think of it. But it has more strength. It has more strength. French ultramarine doesn't have the staining power that Damprin has.
Oh, he's in front, okay.
Oh, it looks a lot less colorful on the screen, so you'll have to come up. It's got a lot more color in it than it does up there.
Maybe you can show us.
Let me put this in and I'll lift it up, because it is quite different.
Suzanne, push your picture up a little so it's on the screen.
I have to move all the time, the painting, because don't want to make things.
We always have to remind ourselves constantly that it's going to get lighter as it dries. And I think since I used a little of that teal, since this is a demo, I'm drawing a drama, right? I'm creeping in on my cheek just a little bit. And if I wet the cheek to try to move it, it's just going to invite it to come in more. So I'm going to just wait a minute and let it dry, and then I'll try to fix it. As you can see, it's got a lot more color.
You're not.
It's still a little different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Can you do this way, Kathleen?
Pardon me?
Can you bring it over here?
Can I bring it over? Oh, no, because I got some spots I gotta clean up. I did get a little splatter on his face, and I got some on this one over here. Just a second. Well, you all can come up at the end and see it, you know. But it does look different. But every place I go, there's always issues with the camera. It's hard try to match our paintings. But now, as this is drying, I can see that I need more value in space, so I can go ahead with another wash. And I'm going to take a little of that more exciting peacocky color here. Not sure what this is. It's some kind of teal. Maybe she got some peacock here. I'm going to glaze his sweater or his t-shirt. And I'll leave it a little rough. That just adds so much. It just looks a little blob, and that just perks it up. Really looks cool. Okay, so now I'm going to try and do that next wash on his face and get a little more color around his eyes. Looks like I'm going to have time. I got to hit this with a little heat. What are you doing over here? It's good.
Like you.
Just a moment of drying here. This is a heat gun, and it's very quiet, and it gets super hot. But I'll tell you, putting the blues around the orange face, just what a difference it makes. It just makes it glow. If I had put green, then I would need more red in my skin because red and green are complements. So it just depends. But as long as we know those things, we can use that knowledge. I love painting faces. You can see from the clays that I brought that I paint just about everything. But there's just something about seeing a face come to life on paper. It's cool. I definitely need more value around his eyes.
I really love to make portraits.
Does anybody have any questions? So I'm pre-wetting this again because I want a soft edge. Even though I have so many coats, I need this to be damp inside so that when I brush my color on, the water can help it spread out evenly. That's why we gotta use water and watercolor. The water's the vehicle. All right, so I really want to put some glue in here. And in every step you can wreck it. You just gotta go. You gotta have the courage to finish your own painting, don't you? Because it's sometimes safer to stop, but if it's not done, it's a sense. Okay. So he's actually bluer at the top because of the sky. The sky is reflected in the shadows. The shadows, we see the color of the sky. But getting this wet gives us so much more time. See, there comes the real shadow. You can't really see it.
Kathleen, how does one learn to do a vignette or like in the sky where you have
understand your question.
The background around his head and shoulder,
Yeah?
you have, some of it is color and some of it is not. And they sometimes call that a vignette.
Mm-hmm.
How does one learn to do a vignette? Or what do you use to think about how you're gonna do it?
It's intuitive.
Is it?
It's a balance thing. You just, I don't know. It's just, you just kind of, I guess I usually feel like I go one way. And because there's light here, I think it makes sense to have light here. I think that's what it is. And I actually think that's what's happening here. I think I can hold this up for a second. See how much better it is with the, I don't know if I went dark enough yet. But because the light's coming in, it looks like that. I don't know, it just works. You know,
It does.
it just works. Yeah, I have, on my YouTube channel, I have a wet into wet demo called The Bird Lady. And she also, I think, went to Fabriano a few years ago. But that one, I have a speed painting of how I did that. And I do that on her too. I do I've done it on quite a few portraits where I do the blue, the peach and blue, you know, the peach and blue and grays. And, you know, you do it once and it's like, wow, this works. So, I keep doing it, I guess. But she's on my YouTube channel. Alright, this still is not dark enough now.
I have a question. Can anybody access your YouTube channel?
Pardon me?
Can anybody access your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's just Katheleen Giles. And it's free. I've got quite a few videos on there. Something is still off with it. I think this comes out wider here. Figure what's wrong. Here. That's better.
This is blue. Is it London's blue or?
No, it's
Total blue?
the beauty.
All of it.
It's in this combination. And here is cobalt teal and the sleeping beauty. It's primitive.
There we go. There's something. I use my baby finger as a bridge. You know, to steady my hand when the paper's wet. And at this stage of the painting, I'm still correcting my drawing. Like when I see something isn't quite right, I keep moving it. I think I had his pupil coming over too far, so I'm hitting it with some red paint to reshape it. I'm gonna try, or his iris is coming over too far. So I'm gonna try throwing his pupil in and see if it reads better. Hope I can see it. Yeah, as far as throwing that color in,
now I'm getting darker colors with the details. And at this point, I usually use whatever I can in my palette. Not specifically one color. I took from the colors I've been using to make darker colors and start to make sharpen forms.
How did you set up your palette? Do you have two different, is it like warm and cold, or is it just red?
¿Cómo distribuyes tu paleta? ¿Cómo la organizas?
Okay, I put the yellows and siennas and reds or orange, then blues, greens, and sometimes I like to have here lunar black or indigo. That's the way I try to.
No, as well. Es diferente marques o okay. Get the difference. What's the difference?
Sorry? What's the difference between?
Between the two palettes. Is it brand?
Okay. I got this. This is new one.
Okay.
And it's very neat and organized. And this was really a disaster. So because I finished a color and then I need another one. So this yellow is not yellow anymore. And this indigo is another color. So I buy this one for this demo because I wanted to have some more organized palette. But at least it's the same. I am the
Same color.
yes.
Yeah, I let my paint set up in my palette, and a lot of artists use fresh paint, and that's one of the different things about me. I feel that I have more control over the paint when it's more concentrated, and I figure if we let it dry out a little bit, then it is more concentrated, and when I go into each well repeatedly, I'm not contaminating the whole thing. So I see something here. His bridge felt off to me. So I'm going to use the little scrubby tool, and I'm going to just pull this over. It had gotten a little too, this is too far over a little bit. I'm just going to soften that right here. But I've saved a lot of paintings by doing that. I had a commission, and the guy just didn't look right, and I just started going around and lifting out highlights and kind of shaping with the scrubby, and I saved the painting. Well, the scrubby saved it for me, but it really does a lot, and sometimes it actually looks better to put the paint on and lift it off than if you hadn't put it on at all. It really works. I'm getting a little beard texture here with some dry brush. And I think I gotta go into this again.
So Kathy, what is your scrubbing tool?
They're called, the Cheap Joe's brand are called French scrubbers. They're right here. They're just very stiff, short bristle brushes. And you can lift off and do all kinds of stuff. And you do damage the paper a little bit, so it's a finishing technique, And a lot of times, if I do lift out, I go back in. I gotta go into this again. I go back in and I'll put a little bit of yellow or pink or something over the paper, because sometimes the paper looks scrubbed. The Another trick is to use the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and that doesn't. I don't think that damages the paper as much, but it's a little bit less controllable, I guess I would say. So I'm putting a glaze of pink on here, and I'm putting on some blue. Just trying to get them up quickly to a finished value. I usually paint a lot more carefully than this, but when in Rome, you know. My husband definitely has a farmer tan. You can see where his skin's getting light down at the bottom of his neck. Okay, a little more pink and a little more blue. Here. Yeah, up there I think it just looks a little browner. Well, I've enjoyed this.
We have two.
I'm really glad that I'm almost done. This was precious. Coming off of the jet lag of Arizona, and then, you know, now I can just enjoy the demos. All right, let's get a little more blue in here. Windsor blue is a fantastic blue. It's mixes well, like I say, with my tri-in and everything, but it lightens quite a bit. So you have to go in more than you want to. His nose needs a little shaping. I am planning to do a Zoom portrait class next year, but I haven't figured it out yet. So if you're interested, you can go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, and you'll find out what everybody else does. Well, he certainly looks healthy. Gotta do some pink. How are you doing, Suzanne? Are you getting close to done?
I'm thinking that I look the image in the screen, and I see very pale to my patient.
Well, it looks paler up there than it is in life, isn't it?
So I'm gonna have to make another glaze. Can you borrow me your please?
Mm-hmm. If I had a razor, well,
And she needs a little bit more hair here too.
see, one more.
Do you find it helpful to have your reference image, Kathleen, same size? Like you have the same size reference image as the size of the painting? Is that really helpful?
It is about the same size, isn't it? I just have a professional printer at home that I do my G-glaze with. So I just print them big, and yes, I do this, and I also have it on a tablet
Okay.
when I'm painting. And I'm doing I'm doing the painting that I hope to enter in AWS, and I also got it on my computer, so I got it all over the place.
So you can zoom in on the tablet.
Right.
Is that why you have it there?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Right, it's very helpful. I find that in the workshops that if the students don't have a good reference and it isn't big, I just really feel like I have an advantage because I can see mine better. So it does make a difference. Did my watch die? Was there music? Oh, just about.
Yes. The paper is arches, fine grain, and 300 grain, grams.
300 grams or 300 pounds?
I just got a couple spots on there.
Grams.
140 pounds, 140.
Yes.
I just had a couple spots appear on my paper, and I think I put my finger in the wet wash of his cheek. And I don't know that there's much I can do about it at this point. Right there, I laid my finger there.
Kathleen, what kind of paper do you use?
I've actually been using it's funny, I've been using Fabriano quite a bit, but this is Arches.
And is it 140 or 300?
This is 140. Normally I paint on 300. I actually need to order paper, so. Yeah, I think I got spots there forever now. I could have gotten lotion on there or something, but oh well. I don't think anybody expects it to be perfect under these circumstances. Right?
It's looking good.
So it's just about 5 o'clock. I don't know if someone comes in and blows a whistle or.